Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you got a yard and you just don't feel like cutting, or maybe you got multiple properties that you don't want to cut, think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. You got flower beds you need cleaned out, or you need mulched, or you need shrubbery put in, or whatever, paper patio, any kind of landscaping, lawn, anything your heart desires. Do me a favor, think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. And when you call Johnny or you message him on Facebook, do me a favor, tell him you heard about Priority Lawn and Landscaping from Sports with Strawberry Ice. What is up to everybody in the chat? I appreciate you guys showing up. I know it's early, 3 o'clock. I'm going to the Reds game today. It's Pete Rose night, so got to go do the show early. They let Pete back in, which I don't even want to get into that. That's still annoying. But they're doing Pete Rose night tonight. But what's up with the people in the chat? Stranger's in there. Jerome's in there. Robert's in there. And Lindsay is in there. All right. We got some stuff to talk about. Trey Hendrickson. Well, first of all, the NFL schedule releases tonight. We know the Bengals are playing Buffalo week 1. But schedule releases tonight. What games are you guys looking forward to? You're going to start planning trips. What do you got? Also, Trey Hendrickson came out in the media yesterday, and he kind of said some stuff, said, this is kind of getting personal, yada, yada, yada. To me, I personally don't necessarily think this was the greatest look for him, to be honest. Apparently what ticked him off is Zach Taylor texted him and said, hey, if you don't start showing up to mandatory stuff, which this stuff is not mandatory, but when the mandatory stuff happens, if you don't show up, you're going to start getting fined. That sounded like that was shocking news to Trey. We got Jesse James on here. He'll be able to answer this for sure, but I think that's part of the NFLPA, that if you don't show up, you get fined. So that's not anything that he should have not been prepared for. I understand what it irritates him that they haven't talked to him. I totally get that. I was talking to Maan about this before the show started. How do you, if Trey is irritated, how irritated do you think Pratt is? That dude is just sitting there twisted in the wind. He wants to get traded. He knows he's going to get traded or cut, and he's still a Bengal. And it's May. Off-season training is starting for other teams. Training camp's going to start here pretty soon, and he's still sitting there. But I guarantee you they haven't talked to him either. Is it the right thing to do? No. Do I think the Bengals should reach out and call Trey? Yes. But that might be their final offer. And honestly, Trey can't do anything about it. And I am not trying to be a jerk or anything. I'm just stating the facts. Trey signed a contract. He's got 1 year left. Bengals made an offer. He doesn't like it. They don't have to make another offer. They can if they want to. They also can tag him at the end of the next year if he has a good year. So, in my opinion, Trey's kind of screwed. Where this goes, I don't know. I just hope to God it gets done before training camp because I don't want any more issues like we had last year. Everybody signed except Trey. We got one more person. Get him signed is what I want them to do. But to discuss all of it is a very passionate Bengal fan. He's got his own podcast. He is a fireman. So, you got to respect the fireman. We call him Fireman. He's Fireman from the Bengals Pulse Podcast. Maan, what is up, brother?
Can you hear me? Are we working?
I can.
Is everything good?
Now, we need to say a prayer here. Dear sweet baby Jesus, Maan has a new computer. Every time he's been on here, the computer messes up. So we're asking you to please not let the computer mess up so we can talk to Maan the entire time. All right, thank you. What's up?
All right. Good. So it's working. All right, man. Life is good. Life is good. Thanks for having me on. Hey, man, I got to say something. The Cincinnati Bengals are the Super Bowl champions of the offseason. Has there been a more active team in the offseason? When I say active, I mean they're on ESPN all the time because of Chase and Higgins' contract situation. Now Trey Hendrickson and all this. There is not – I mean, the Bengals are the most talked about NFL team of the offseason. We're Super Bowl champs or something. How about that?
Hey, we so far we've won the offseason. I want the Lombardi.
That's right.
That's the next thing. All right, so you and me can talk about what we think about contracts and all this stuff, and neither one of us really have any idea what the hell we're talking about. But I know a guy who negotiates NFL contracts. He's actually on Sirius XM every Friday, I think, with my boy Solomon Wilcox talking about NFL contracts. Maybe he can shed some light on what the hell the Bengals are doing. I like to introduce him this way. He's the outlaw of the NFL agents. He's Jesse James. What's up?
What's
Jesse?
up? What's up, guys?
Oh, nothing.
Hey.
To do a podcast here. So,
That's probably my favorite intro. I have to say that's now I really gotta be on my game this afternoon with all these discussions.
So, was this a good look or good idea for Trey to come out? And I know he was trying to clear the air, but I don't really know if anything had to be cleared up because we knew the Bengals hadn't talked to him in a while. Am I wrong? Is it an NFLPA thing? If he doesn't show up, he gets fined automatically? That's not a Bengal thing. That's an NFL thing, right?
So the way the CBA works is with training camp, the fines are mandatory, right? Yeah. Mandatory minicamp, there are fines associated. Sometimes they're contractual fines. Other times there's fines that you have to. It's mandatory, right? Same thing. Right. If you didn't show up to your job, you're subject to possibly get fired, right? They get fined. Yeah. They're not gonna fire him. So, yeah, he's absolutely. I think it was a good look. I heard your discussion earlier. I think it gives a much better peek behind the curtain into exactly what Trey is thinking, feeling. It's similar to other players who have kind of drawn these holdouts or hold-ins, so to speak. Mm-hmm. In the past, you kind of get to see and feel what they're thinking and feeling. And Trey's not someone who holds his opinion back at all. Right. Jamar, you didn't hear much from him last year.
Except for when he left.
Yeah. When he did talk, you heard the things of gotta be patient. I mean, I talked to his dad Jimmy, and Jimmy said the same thing. Jamar's got to be patient. He knows that it's gonna work its way out. Everyone knew that contract was going to get done.
Yes.
I think there is a lot of hesitation amongst the media, the fan base, Trey, his camp, other agents who we're scratching our head. We're going, what are the Bengals doing? I mean, I get it. I get the argument. He's under contract. He has to play. Like, what's he going to do, right? And we'll get into kind of the ramifications, so to speak, on what could happen if he does hold out. Mm-hmm. And that's something that most people don't talk about. I've studied it. I've done an entire class in my sports law class about some of the things that you don't see in the NFL. And I'd love to talk about what I can talk about in regard to contract.
Floor is yours. Go for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll jump right into it. I mean, contract tolling isn't something that people hear about. I don't know if the general, consensus or public knows realistically what that means. And what it is it's the year of your contract, 2025, gets tolled, means paused, right? And then it gets carried over to the next year. Mm-hmm. That's not in the CBA. That's not something you can Google and say, hey, what's the answer? Where is this in the CBA? It's not. And the last time that the NFL saw it was 1999 with Joey Galloway with the Seattle Seahawks. If you listen to me on Sirius XM last Friday, I jumped into that as well, saying, look, the NFL hasn't seen it. Players haven't seen it. Agents haven't seen it since 1999. No player has taken that full stance of, hey, I'm going to sit out in a contract year, the last year of a contract, not a franchise tag year. We saw that with Le'Veon Bell. You may see someone hold out a lengthy period of time like Trent Williams, not in a contract year, in a year before in 2019. He still had 2 years left when he sat out. But when you're in the last year of your contract and you decide, I'm not showing up, I'm not doing anything, there is no coverage in the CBA to cover your butt, so to speak, on what should happen. And what they have to do now in the CBA, in your contracts, it says that if there's a dispute, you have to arbitrate it. Right. So they'll go in front of an NFL arbitrator. Joey Galloway and the Seahawks did the same thing back in, after the season, so 2000. And ultimately, the arbitrator said, all right, you sat out half the year. It wasn't a full year. It wasn't even over half the year. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually side with Galloway, and we're not going to toll his contract. So that kind of gives some insight into what could happen, right? The old terminology in the law is, what's the answer? Well, it depends. Right. Nobody knows until it's been litigated. Mm-hmm. And that's what would have to happen. I mean, this wouldn't be something that you can point to a regulation and say, here's the answer. They have to go in front of an arbitrator and figure out if 2025 would toll. And that's if he sat out longer than, let's say, the trade deadline or the whole season. That's something that you have to think about. You have to you have to have that in the back of your mind. And guess who knows that? The Bengals. Right? Mm-hmm. So, but what you don't get is a lot of people don't understand the impact of a player of Trey's caliber sitting out 2 games. Look back to Chris Jones, right?
It hurt.
It hurt. It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I don't want to think about it.
So much that they came back, I think after the first game that they lost, and we're like, here's the checkbook. Here you go, Chris.
Yep.
Right? I mean, and it's the same. I would say Bengals are in a much better cap situation than the Chiefs were back when that happened.
Sorry, Jesse.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, man. You got to cut me off. I'm just going to talk.
No, you're good. I'm taking this in. I think it's awesome. I'm Team Trey all the way. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, they know I had a meltdown yesterday over it. I will say this though. I thought yesterday was a little clumsy. Throwing in the Zach Taylor stuff and everything like that, and gauging the comments on Twitter. It might have backfired a little bit, but I will say this. I think his agent in 2023 signed that contract. He got some new money up front. Obviously, it looks really bad right now, but Duke Tobin's comments at the Combine sort of threw him a lifeline. Duke Tobin, emphasized he's outplayed his contract. He deserves a raise. So I think it's a little bit of a reset for his agent. And, I can see where he expects to be a top 5, top 6 paid defensive end. I'm not saying he should get the Crosby or the Myles Garrett type contract, but he definitely deserves a hefty raise. I hope it doesn't come to what you were saying, Jesse, with, arbitrators and all this stuff. I hope calmer heads prevail.
Yeah.
Because he is such an important player. I know people on Twitter bash me on this. I've gotten some arguments. I think he's one of the top defensive ends in football in this sense. Myles Garrett has Zadarius Smith and other players that help take pressure off of him. Watt in Pittsburgh has, a Hall of Famer in Hayward. He has Nick Herbig, another young defensive lineman. He has, pass rusher. Alonzo Highsmith. They're loaded with pass rushers. The Bengals have really struggled the last couple of years. Hubbard had a bad ankle leg injury. He hasn't been the same player. They're trying to find a more consistent pass rush. The team with Trey Hendrickson. Hendrickson still got 17 and a half sacks. He's a dominant football player. And the Bengals are a better team with him on it and a happy Trey Hendrickson. And, listen, we're entering the prime of Joe Burrow. We need good players like him. I don't want to lose the players like Jesse Bates like we did a few years ago and DJ Reader. We need to retain these solid core pieces. And like I said to you before the show started, can they construct a 3-year contract with an easy out in year 3? Hey, in year 2, if Hendrickson is still playing at a very high level, the Bengals will say, yeah, hey, we'll honor that year 3 of your contract. If he sort of hits a wall or falls off a cliff, they could, get out of it. I mean, I know that's easier said than done, but I think, they have to, cooler heads have to prevail, and hopefully they get something worked out.
Yeah, and going back to the text message, I think the media and I think Twitter kind of took it the wrong way, is saying like, oh, Trey's taking it personal because Zach texted him.
That's the way it sounded to me. Like that pissed him off. I'm like, you knew you were gonna get fined. I'm like,
well, it wasn't. I don't think it was the fines. He knows that. He should know that. I mean, that's something that we talk to our players about.
It sounded like yesterday that he didn't know that. I'm like,
I'm gonna. The way I take it in is, it was the fact that Zach sent it 30 days before mandatory minicamp. Had nothing to do with the fact that he's. It's basically saying, hey, we're not getting this done in the next 30 days. We don't see it getting done. And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, one, I'm hearing that from the coach. I'm not hearing that from the front office.
All right.
I'm hearing it from a coach. Like, and I think kudos to Zach. I honestly kind of, I don't take it was malicious on Zach. I think it was the fact that Zach was just trying to look out for his guy and be like, hey, it's you get fines if not.
Yeah, this might not work out the way you think it's going to, and I want you in here.
Yeah, and again, I don't know, but that's the way I read into it. It wasn't Zach making it personal. Mm-hmm. It was the fact that the message came 30 days before, and it came from Zach, not from the front office. Because the way my agent brain read it is, we're not getting anything done in 30 days. Ridiculous.
I didn't think about that. That is a good way to look, or not good way to look at it, but maybe the way that Zach meant it. Because if you might have been warned going, look, dude, I don't think this is going to happen within 30 days. You're going to start getting fined, and that's the thing, Jesse. All right, for you, I got a question. In my opinion, Trey's best interest is to play this out, because him sitting out, like he sit out training camp and you're going to get fined, but if this goes into the season, it's just going to hurt him, because, like you just said, there's no wording of what actually happens, and he's going into his contract year where if the Bengals don't tag him, he could get a lot of money if he has a really good year and it hits free agency.
Let me put it this way, right? And again, it's all speculation. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It didn't work out for Hassan Reddick when he did this, but Trey sits out right up, and this is again just hypothetically speaking. Right. Trey sits out first 7-8 weeks of the season. Full go rest of the season, half a season he puts up, let's just say 10 sacks in half a season. Do you really think his market's going to go down? No, it's not. Yeah. But what he did is he said, I'm not going to risk an injury in the early part. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come back. I'm going to play out so my contract doesn't get told, and work on marketability into next year. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, Trey's the kind of guy who, and I've never met him. This is just from talking to other players. Everybody loves him. I mean, we're talking about the highest of high of human being that there is.
And that's the thing. And that's the other thing for this season, for just as purely a Bengal fan and wanting the season to go good. You want that guy in the building. You want that guy in the locker room. You want that guy happy. As a pure Bengals fan, I want him happy. I know mine's the same way. We just want him happy and get in here and try to win on Lombardi. And that's where it irritates you with the Bengals. Is like, do you realize you have a chance to win on Lombardi? You have a chance to win, and you're screwing with that with this contract negotiation, which I don't know how close, I don't know how far away they are. I have no idea. But it's just like, can we just try to make a phone call, try to get this done? And you're telling me on the phone the other day of why you think this might be why they haven't heard from the Bengals, or Trey hadn't heard from the Bengals in it's just a draft because they can't multitask.
No, they can't multitask, and we'll get into that too. But like, look, this isn't the first player to sit there and say there's been a breakdown or lack or zero communication. You know, we heard it from T last year. Haven't heard from the Bengals in X amount of time. Let's go back to Andrew Whitworth. Remember what Whitworth came out and said? You know, like one they promised him all this in before the season started. Season goes by, he has a great year. Then guess what? No communication, breakdown in communication, breakdown in promises. Boom, he leaves. Right?
How old was Whitworth then? Do you remember? How was he? 30? He was
32, 33, I think maybe. I'm guessing.
I think he was 33.
Yeah. Okay.
I was talking with Solomon Wilcots about this afternoon. Is you want to talk about letting an amazing human being out the door? Andrew Whitworth didn't he go on to win a Walter Payton Man of the Year when he was in Los Angeles? Like, you let a Walter Payton Man of the Year out your door, not just an all-pro, but so I don't know. How do they care about humanitarian?
They should.
How good?
They should.
I don't disagree.
I remember. I remember reading an article from Whitworth discussing that last year in Cincinnati, how it went down with Troy Blackburn, and it was such a tone-deaf response from the Bengal organization. I think they offered him $10 million, take it or leave it 1 year. And then the Rams offered him a lot more, obviously. And we know how it turned out. He spent years there and won a Super Bowl. But, you know, with the Trey situation, I'm trying in my head to figure out what's a fair contract for him. I mean, I agree with Duke Tobin. He does deserve a raise. And I'm just wondering if the Bengals are like, hey, you know, we're paying you 16, 18 this year. We'll give you 23. You know, we don't have to, but here, just take it. And obviously that's not enough for him. I mean, what's a fair contract for Trey? Do you think 28 to 30? I mean, like you're saying, Jeff, I mean, 28 to 35. What's a fair contract, Jesse?
I did a little, you know, market data analysis with everything. That's what we always do. Even if we don't have a player at the position, we want to make sure that we stay on top of the market value, right? And we saw that market, that edge market, go through the roof this offseason. We knew it was going to happen. You ask anyone, you look and you know who, not just whose contracts are expiring, but who's coming up on not just their last year, but who's due for an extension. And we knew the guys who were going to get them. You have that conversation. You talk with other agents. You know who's going to go into the offseason and ask for it. And Trey's market, is it a Max Crosby? Is it Myles Garrett? No. Is it close? Yes. And how do you get that? Market isn't, well, we have to get his number to $32 million a year AAV, right? No. But new money, absolutely. So if you can get something in the a 2-year extension, and you can add on $32 million each year, so 2 years, $64 million extension. You add on with what he's already got around what he's at 21 AAV right now. I think you're looking at about 27, 28 million AAV. Are you guys sitting there and going to argue that that's not what his market value is? But you're still getting him in the realm of everybody else by getting him the new money of $32 million a year. And that's what you see in a market analysis when you're looking at value for position. You're looking at new money. You're looking at what the extension number is, not at what it brings that AAV down to. Because I think what Crosby signed, you know, something that was much higher than most people probably thought, but I think that was tied in, but that was still tied into what he was making before. So his collective AAV is reasonable for who he is. I mean, I think it was spot on. Right. And that's the same thing you should see with Trey, is give him something, you know, upwards of, you know, 2 years, $64 million in new money, right? X amount guaranteed, and go from there and find a way to make that average annual value right there between, and new money, $32 million, right below, kind of in line with what you're seeing, but still below those other younger guys. Or I'm not saying Garrett's much younger, but again, productive standpoint, PFF grades, everything that you take into consideration when doing a contract analysis, and putting him slotted right where he should be. Again,
what you're saying, you're talking about this. The thing is, like, people are commenting saying he wants 4 years. I don't think he's getting 4 years. I think he's getting 2, at the most 3. I'd be shocked if you got 3. I think they want to do 2, which would make it 3 if you count this year's contract anyway. That'd be total 3 in part. Do you think that's about where they're at between? They want to do a 2, maybe 3-year extension?
I think they want to do 1. I think they want to just do a 1-year extension. Okay. They want to, and again, I'm speculating. I have no inside knowledge into this. Right. This is just, again, taking in history, taking in how teams value and then kind of mirror other contracts. I think they're looking at Daniel Hunter's contract and saying he got a 1-year extension. They're about the exact same age, same productivity grades. I mean, I think Trey's been more productive than Hunter. And saying, look, this guy got a 1-year deal. You guys are right around the exact same age, same production level. Boom, that's where they're
What was the money on Hunter's? What was that one? Do you remember off the top of your head?
34, maybe.
So 34 for 1 year.
I'm guessing.
That's not bad money if you get it. Yeah.
Right. I'm not 100% sure. That's again. I'm.
So what if they want? What if they want up to 38 for 1 year?
No, Trey. I don't think. Wow. I think it's Trey said it yesterday. It's a structure issue as well, right? He doesn't want
incentives too. I think. Yeah.
Right.
He said that on McAfee's show. Yeah. He said that on the McAfee show the first time he was on. He a lot of incentives were tied from the Bengals. AFC Championship game, you get this. Super Bowl, you get this. I think he wanted more incentives based on his production instead of team production. And he was frustrated about that.
I could see him. Did he say he wanted incentives in his contract, or they wanted it?
No,
he didn't really want to do it.
He was critical of the incentives.
Yeah,
He was critical of that.
I could see him saying, "Look, he's earned every right to say, do not give me an incentive-laden contract. Don't do it." I put up 17.5 sacks 2 years in a row. Before that, in 2021 was 14. He's earned it. He's earned every right to go and say, no, I don't want incentives built into my contract.
But also on the other hand, this is where I keep going, and I hate doing this, but I feel like I keep defending the Bengals. The Bengals literally don't have to do anything. They have a contract. They don't have to do anything. I mean, they can make it like, all right, go ahead and sit out the 6 games or whatever, and come back and finish the season. They don't have to do anything, right?
Sure.
I mean, I want them to, but I mean that's kind of where they're at.
But that's what they're risking. They're risking an All-Pro sitting out, I would say, 8-9 games, right? Yeah,
I don't want. I'm not saying I want that to happen. Just to be clear.
And then he'll come and he'll play the back end of it. You hope that in those 9 games, 8 games that he misses, that they don't miss a beat. You hope that the younger players develop. And I'm saying you hope. I hope he gets paid. I wish he should have got paid
the first time.
Every time, right?
So last time they should have did a bigger deal.
And again,
listen.
I talk. Oh, go ahead, Mom.
No. I just want to say that we can't. The reason I don't want that either, we can't have distractions in August. We got to have a fast start. The curse of the Bengals under Zach Taylor, slow starts. I don't want Zach Taylor asked every press conference about Trey Hendrickson, about Trey. I want him focused on getting this team ready and not worried about Trey's contract. And that's one of my fears because you know what? Jamar Chase had that play in last year. And I'm sorry, that affected the Bengals. He didn't start practicing until the week of that Patriot game, and everything was off. I'm not saying he was the reason we lost, but it's just the chemistry wasn't there. No, it didn't. It didn't help. And, and we don't need that again. And, I hope it doesn't happen.
Let me get this $5 super chat from KP and KC. He's $4.99. But he says, I guess that means if Knight becomes an All-Pro, he's not getting an extension after his rookie deal. What a joke of a front office. I don't think it means that because they're two different. Well, he's older, I guess, but I don't know.
Hey, history. Look, I don't disagree with the mindset of where he's coming from.
Yeah, it could be
historically
because of the age.
I mean,
he's already 26. Yeah,
I mean the fact that they gave BJ Hill a well-deserved contract extension into his 30s blew my mind. It blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, okay, maybe this is good news. Maybe they're finally going to say, hey, guys can actually still produce into their 30s. We see it all the time.
Yeah, so why are they so hesitant to sign Trey then? That's what I don't get. If they sign BJ, which I love BJ, give it to Trey. Trey's been more productive. I don't understand what's the issue.
30 million versus 15 million, 12 million. I don't know. I mean,
they got the money, and Jesse, they've restructured contracts. They restructured Zach Moss.
They restructured
Stones.
cap health is no question. They every year all the way. I look at it all the way through 2029. I mean, they're in incredible cap health. No dead money realistically going into the future at all. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for them to not start following suit with, I don't know, Super Bowl winning teams that sign their guys a year before most other teams would. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense to me other than kind of circling back. I don't know. Maybe they're too busy looking at other issues. They don't have a designated Howie Roseman who's just looking at salary cap, signing guys, general manager activities, right? They're looking at leases. They're looking into the NFL draft hosting. They're looking into, what summer concerts they may be able to bring in and make some money off of. And again, look, as a business attorney, I can't knock them on that. As an agent, I sit there and go, oh my God, what are we doing? But again,
they need more than two people to negotiate contracts, Jesse.
We were joking about the Bengals a few weeks ago. They can't walk and chew gum at the same time. They got so much going on, and Chase and Higgins sort of handcuffed them, before free agency started. They were so obsessed with getting that done, which I'm glad they did. And had a slow start with free agency, but I think the Bengals. I mentioned this when I was in the commenting with the captain and you the other day. I think they've evolved so much as an organization. I think they really have, but they still have other things. I mean, they need to continue evolving. They really need to. They need to continue moving forward, maybe in contract structure, the way they things. Because, I've been a Bengal fan since the 70s. I'm that old. They've always had these really. I am old. I'll be the first to admit it. I still do jumping jacks, but they've always had contract issues every year, and I can name 15 players similar to what's happening now.
I found it very interesting when Christian Sarkisian left to go be the GM this week at Northwestern, one of their area scouts, right? Mm-hmm. Where when the Northwestern, someone from Northwestern was talking about his credentials and one thing that stood out to me is it literally this guy talked about his experience in salary cap and contract negotiating.
Which
makes me go, well, here's the problem. That's your scout.
Right. Oh, he got a phone call. Man, that story was getting good too.
You're still on, Maan. With technical problems.
Still on.
Yay! Thank you, Best Buy. Best Buy hooked me up.
Okay. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, sorry, I had a call come in, and for some reason, it's screwing everything up when I get a call coming in. So, no, but why are you having scouts negotiate contracts? I mean, look, on day 3 of the draft, I get it. You bring everybody in and you sit there and you say, all right, you guys call these people and try to get undrafted free agents here. You try to get them here. I mean, we had Marvin Lewis's son call us one time trying to negotiate a deal back years ago and thought that was pretty wild, right? But we weren't surprised. So, but when I saw that, he gets the GM spot, well-deserved. It's a great GM spot for him to go to with Northwestern. But to see that it's salary cap, his experience in that made me go, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But that's the thing. It's like literally, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the top 2 contract negotiators are Katie and Troy, right? There really isn't anybody because Duke doesn't do it. Zach Sherrill doesn't do it. It's really just those 2, right?
Mostly, at least the companies that I've worked for have dealt mostly with Katie.
Yeah.
Troy. Every time I talk to him, it's we're talking stadium lease. We're talking law. We're like that's where Troy and I kind of bond. Is not on contracts but on the law. I have not negotiated a contract with Troy. Not saying that he doesn't. And my partners they've dealt with Katie. So is that normal that they only have one? You've dealt with other NFL teams. Is that normal? They only have one person that really does the contract negotiation? No, it's a larger team. It's
they might have one person that signs off on it, saying, "Okay,
sure.
Yes, it's a good deal."
I think the big contracts Katie handles and Troy. I think the big ones, obviously, the big dogs do that. But I think the lower level ones, some of the scouts do because like you were just saying about the Christian Sarkisian, the lower level scouts and all that, they'll handle maybe undrafted free agents, 6th, 7th round contracts. And
it's
that's a mom and pop type of feel to it.
And the same thing goes with scouting. I mean, these coaches are as hands-on as you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the combine and you see the whole, like, of course you see it with every team where their scouts, the coaches are there.
Yeah, but there's coaches and then there's scouts. The Bengals, they are the scouts. That's
it's exactly why you saw, Al, all excited when they got Demetrius Knight, right? Because Al was scouting him. I know,
right.
Like that again. I don't know this for a fact, but you just when you see that excitement level, right? Same thing the year before with Burton and the way Taylor's like, yes, like I got my guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because their coaching staff is an extension of their scouting department. Everywhere you go, yes, coaches can't help but try to scout. They can't, right? That's just that's just
nature.
Built in, right? Yeah. But a lot of the other teams are sitting there saying, "Hey guys, go coach." Like we've got 20 guys doing this, right? And that's why you see, again, when you see the draft rooms of some of these guys, at pro days, I see the scouts that I talk to in these rooms. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of the scouts there. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a one-on-one talk with a coach about one of my guys absent. I've seen them talk to high profile guys, right? But some of the UDFAs that I've had, it's scouts. Some of the later round guys, we had a guy who was projected to go in the 4th round before tearing his quad. It was all scouts. I mean, every scout was in on him. We didn't talk to coaches, until later on in the process. Right. Now we're starting to talk to some coaches, but that's just because his, rehab and coaches want to know what his timeline is, right? So it's interesting. It's the whole dynamic is interesting.
All right. Thanks for KP for $4.99 super chat. He says, imagine the Colts not paying Dwight Freeney during their window. That makes no sense. Love the show, fellas. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, none of this makes sense. I mean, it doesn't. It's irritating. One thing I do want to preface, though, but that it's not like here I'm going back to defending the Bengals. It's not like the Bengals are not negotiating with him at all. They have actually made an offer. He didn't like the offer, and they reached out to Trey. Again, I keep saying this, the Bengals don't have to do anything. They could have just ignored him from Jump Street, and they haven't. So they did negotiate. But this whole thing, how odd is it, Jesse, to make an offer, and then say you come back and you counter offer, and then you don't hear nothing, like for months? Is that like a normal negotiation thing?
I mean, it can be. Like, I'm not going to say that it's normal or abnormal. What's not normal is having an all-pro player and not getting kind of the results, so to speak, right? Having your all-pro player say they ceased communication with me.
Right.
We're not talking about a middle roster player. We're talking about an all-pro.
Our best defensive player.
And again, this is something that I echo to front offices all the time is, what does that say to the guys on the kind of the bottom end of the roster? If this guy up here is not getting paid, this guy is sitting here going, I have no chance.
Crap about me.
Right. That's what it says. Guys feel that way. I know that because they've told me that. Right. It's just kind of like, oh man, like if this all pro can't get paid, what am I doing? Like, I now guess what? They're worrying about where they're going in 3 years, 4 years, right? Whenever their contract expires. Yeah. They're worried, right? Like they're worried about
what Trey. Let's not catch up, Jesse, but you brought some up. Kind of like what Trey said yesterday. He wasn't really thinking about going somewhere else, but yesterday he said, "I kind of have." I'm starting to think of going to different teams and stuff like that. Because I think he said in the beginning, he said, "Pay me or trade me, whatever helps the Bengals." Now he's like, "I don't even know if I want to play here right now." Which money fixes a lot of stuff. I mean, Myles Garrett said all kinds of stuff against the Browns, and they went, "Okay, how much did shut you up? Okay, here you go, and gave you a contract." Not that the Bengals are going to do that, but money fixes a lot of stuff. But that goes to your point is, you don't really want them thinking like, okay, well, what other team could I really go to? And that's just the mindset you don't want Trey to have. Go ahead, Mom.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the players in that locker room are monitoring this. I remember when the Jesse Bates situation, a lot of players are disappointed about that. They go, wow, man, look what happened to Jesse Bates. Now, was there a little bit of a reset with Higgins and Chase re-signing? Absolutely. Maybe the locker room is starting to, believe in the organization a little bit more. No, but I think the players see that, and some of these guys down the road that are going to want contracts, are they going to treat me like they treated Trey, or how they treated Jesse, or what's going to happen here? They need to clean it up a little bit. I think they need to, work on that PR wise. And, I think everybody hit it right on the head there. Communication is so important. And,
why is it so hard to pick a phone up and call somebody? That's
obviously he was so frustrated yesterday. That was a frustrated Trey, like last resort, like, hey man, they're not talking to me, so I need to go do this. And
dude, college teams and other professional teams have a guy or a girl who is there, who will call players and be like, hey, just checking in with you. How you feeling? What's going on? I know, guys, when a personal issue hits and they're at another team, divorce, death in a family, right? There is someone who will reach out from the club and say, hey, like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they don't have that.
They probably
I've never heard that they do, right? Mm-hmm. And again, last year of contracts, other teams have, gosh, I know, like, Howie Roseman will reach out and just be like, hey, like, where are you guys at? Like, this is what we're thinking. Let's start the contract talks now.
Right.
This is two years before the end of a contract.
Yeah. Why is that hard to do?
Where are you guys feeling?
Get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Get some idea. At least a guideline of where you're thinking.
100%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
100%. Like that, you get the same thing now, and I know college teams are doing. I represented, a GM who is sitting there who will call every player and be like, hey, like, again, we know, like, transfer portal's coming up. We just want to talk to you, see what you're doing, how you're feeling. We don't want you to leave. That kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's not hard. Pick up the phone. Hire someone if you don't have somebody there.
Hire Jesse. Jesse would call.
Not me. I'm a little busy. I'm a little busy right now.
Yeah, that might be a little below your pay grade as a lawyer there.
Oh man, yeah.
No, I was just pointing at him. He's a rock star. You should do it, man. Go for it.
I don't know if I'm fit for that.
Hey, the Bengals have an opening right now since the guy went to Northwestern, wherever he went. Maybe you can jump in and take his spot.
Do they though, or is this?
Or they're just not going to hire anybody.
This is right. They did bring in like a statistician guy from Buffalo.
They did. Right.
Is he the one who's going to fill that spot? I don't know.
I think hopefully they're enhancing that department. Instead of having one, now they have two that can do the analytics. I hope so. Yeah,
I hope so. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Apparently, I have breaking news. Chris has reported that Trey has already hired you, Jesse. So there you go.
He hasn't. I would. I would love it, but no.
I would love it too, to break it on my show. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You could upgrade the leather in your new car.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So other contracts I do want to talk about is the rookie deals of our first and second round. They were sitting out. What were the things they were trying to negotiate as far as, because there's not a lot to negotiate on rookie contracts, but is this more of the agent trying to control? So because from what I've heard, you got, from whatever rookie structured contracts, they're pretty much set in stone. Wherever you get drafted, that's kind of where they're at in the ballpark is. There's not a lot of negotiation going on. This is something new for me that I've noticed. I mean, is this something going forward that's going to happen more often, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so first round picks are, they are some of the easiest contracts. And again, I'm saying I've never negotiated a first round pick contract. When I worked with Richard Katz, I don't think he had a first round pick. I know he had second round picks. Mm-hmm. But again, I've talked to a ton of agents, and when I pick their brain on first round pick contracts, this is what I always get back is everything is slotted, right? There's you're not negotiating a high number, a low number with a first round pick. It's not happening, right? That number is there. Everybody knows it. It's already predetermined. But where it gets nuanced is, remember this, players are only, for the most part, getting 18 paychecks over 36 weeks, okay? So they want that 19th paycheck, like a bonus of some sort in the off season, right? They don't get paid in the off season. It's not like a 9-to-5 job or even, a serving job where you get paid every week, 52 weeks or half the year, for 26 weeks. That's not happening. So they want that extra, a little bit of money, or, for a first round pick, sometimes a good amount of money in the offseason. Where does that come into play? Well, there's realistically, you can negotiate it wherever, but the teams look at two different times. They look at, beginning of the league year and then training camp. And I think, everyone, all these first round picks that have a off-season bonus, roster bonus, training camp bonus into their contract is getting it with training camp. So when they come to training camp, they know on that first day, they've got a nice check coming their way that will last them up until the first game of the season, right? That's huge to a player. It's absolutely huge, okay? I don't know if I've said this on this podcast, but we had a guy who back they used to just do it 17 paychecks. Right. So it was once a week you got paid. They didn't spread it out over every 2 weeks.
Right.
We get into the off season and he calls us up and goes, hey, I didn't get paid. And we're like, yeah, what? We know. Like we told you this. You're not getting paid in the off season. You get paid 17 weeks until your March, I think it was March 12th.
And he spent all of it.
I'm not saying he spent all of it. We do a good job. We do a real good job. No, we do. I
wouldn't be surprised, but
we put all of our guys through like a financial planning.
Good.
Hey, look, it just slipped his mind, right? He's like, hey, I didn't get paid, and we're like, remember, you don't. And he's like, oh, okay, so I'm not getting paid until when, right? We pull up his contract, show him the breakdown.
Right.
So players are like they don't remember that a lot of the times, especially rookies, right? Rookie, second year guys. So they want that little piece in the offseason. And that's what the Stewart situation is. And Stewart's in the right. He's absolutely in the right, because if you saw what Zabel just got at pick 18, he got it again 100% offseason bonuses.
Right.
So all 4 years he's got an offseason bonus. During training camp, when he reports to training camp, he gets that. I think Mims last year didn't get 100%. I think, and again, I haven't looked at Mims' contract, but I think his was maybe year 1, 2, and 3, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. So, like 75% maybe. So that's what the first round picks are really wanting to negotiate is these offseason roster bonuses. That's kind of the only piece of the puzzle that's missing. And teams are saying no, or a team is saying no. But now they kind of, their hand is kind of shown they have to, since Zabel did. They don't really have any leverage in that.
Right.
If they say no and hold out for it, they look ridiculous.
So now, did Knight and Stewart, are they done, or are they still holding out? I thought Knight was playing. I can't remember.
So I think Knight is practicing.
Yeah,
I don't think he's signed. He's not signed yet. And second round picks are the hardest. They're the longest ones. All right.
So what happens if they play without? What happens if they play without signing? Does that help? I mean, it hurts their leverage, right?
No, not so. And I don't know how they are protected. So at least they should be, and at least 31 other clubs. I heard a report that the Bengals guarantee isn't the same as all 31 other clubs. I have absolutely no knowledge of that. The only thing I can say is I know they're sticklers in contracts. If you have a pre-existing injury, of putting injury waivers and injury contract language or injury language into those contracts, they're sticklers on it. So I don't know. I heard that on the internet. I don't believe everything I read on the internet. But again, makes sense on why they didn't participate. Right? You heard Shamar Stewart say, "I saw that paper and I just didn't sign it." I think he was talking about the injury waiver.
Okay.
So unless that injury waiver says your contract slot, right, is 100% fully guaranteed for injury during rookie minicamp, during mandatory minicamp, during all of these team activities, no, do not do it. Do not do it. Right? Absolutely not. Even though he's going to sign a fully guaranteed contract, it gives them leverage to sit there and say, we're not going to give you that offseason bonus because you just got hurt. We've seen players get hurt. I think someone tore an ACL at minicamp or rookie minicamp a couple years ago that was a first-round pick. Now, he's still signed. He had that injury protection. He had that full injury waiver in there, or protection, should say, and it was fine. Stewart, maybe not. That's why he didn't. Now jumping into second-round draft picks, these are the ones that are a lot more difficult to do. Why? Because as you saw with Schweinzinger, is that the UCLA linebacker who went to Cleveland?
Schlesinger, yeah.
Schlesinger,
Schlesinger,
and Higgins, right? The wide receiver from Iowa State who went to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston went in. Houston's great. Houston they're player friendly with their contracts. They went and said, "Yep, Higgins at pick 34, we're going to fully guarantee your entire contract." So Higgins, as a second-round pick, was getting full guarantees that you only saw in the first round. Keon Coleman last year only got 95% of his contract fully guaranteed. Yeah. Now you've got Cleveland at 33, and you've got Houston at 34, fully guaranteeing second-round picks. I think ball's in the court now with Seattle. I think they've got the 35th draft pick this year. Whether or not they're going to fully guarantee it or not, my guess, knowing them, is probably not. They'll probably come closer to like 95, 96% of fully guarantees. But that's what the holdup is. Right. Is you're going to have to see what 35 signs for and what 64 signs for, and then everything's going to fall into place with that. Every contract will get done before training camp. They don't have to. They should. You want to make sure that you're in training camp. There's no reason for them not to get that accrued season, and be set, right? But that's where Knight and Stewart's holdups are.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why this just popped in my head, but Jesse, let me ask you a question. You know, NFL players go to these Pro Bowl events in Orlando. They play flag football. If a player gets a catastrophic injury there, are teams compensated by the NFL because it's an NFL-sanctioned event? Do you have any idea?
Better person has to be Tyler Eifert, right? When he hurt his ankle pretty severely. So players are they're paid for the Pro Bowl. It's a bonus that they get. Winning team gets even more money, I believe. And yeah, there are injury protections within that, so to speak. Now that's why you do see players sit out, because even though you have some sort of protection with that and you are getting financially compensated for going, look at what happened with Eifert. Did he start the season on PUP that year, or? Yeah,
he hurt his ankle, I believe. I'm not sure, but remember the Dolphin player who played for the Patriots also. He's playing sand football.
Tore his knee up. Yeah,
his knee twisted around. He was never the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if the NFL, like, hey, it's an NFL sanctioned event. Your team gets a 3rd round pick. Sorry about that, or something.
Nope.
You would think
no.
Do something. Yeah.
There's nothing. If your player gets hurt, if you lose a player to a career-ending injury in the Pro Bowl, the NFL's not going to compensate you at all.
Wow.
Now you do have protections for that, right?
Insurance, stuff like that, right? For the player, player have insurance on that, but the team.
So
I don't know why I thought of that. I was just thinking of that. I'm like, wow, I just popped in my head, and I thought I'd ask you. You'd know it.
There are some layers of protections, but it's not foolproof, right? Player gets hurt, he sits out it could be on IR for the entirety of that year. No, I mean, team you're going to get your salary for the next year, but you're not going to, or you're going to get an injury settlement possibly if they don't retain you. Like
I never want a Bengal to play in the Pro Bowl again.
Again, hey, look, that's why a lot of
playing the Super Bowl
there. Getting exactly. Well, yeah, they're getting mad because they're going to flag football.
Yeah,
as an agent, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I get it because I've said that, like, I honestly think the flag football and all, I think it's kind of because the Pro Bowl was getting boring. Nobody was playing. Nobody's hitting, but you don't really want them to do that because I don't want any of my guys getting hurt. So I understand that, and you still can get hurt playing flag football. I mean, you can get hurt walking down the street. I mean,
like the guy got hurt playing beach football, or volleyball, whatever it was. I remember that was a terrible injury.
That was
a lot.
15 years ago. That was a while.
A lot of, but the thing is though, is if and a lot of contracts kind of have language built into that. Even say you're down at the Pro Bowl, right? and you are playing sand volleyball. You're at an NFL sanctioned event, but sand volleyball is not NFL sanctioned. I mean, if you tear up your knee there doing that, there's no protections for that. In fact, some contracts might have a waiver in there that you get cut without any protection.
I think this one was NFL players. It was televised. This one where the player was.
I wasn't part of the Pro Bowl. I thought it was part of the Pro Bowl games.
It was like Pro Bowl weekend. It was NFC versus AFC.
Yeah, it was in Hawaii.
It was.
You're talking like 15 years ago. It was a while ago, but I remember that.
Yeah, so there's probably some form of waiver that they sign, some type of protection, small bit. But yeah, it's almost kind of like caveat emptor, like buyer beware if you're out there doing it.
Got a new nickname for Maan, Smoking Stash Lightning. I like that.
Thank you very much there, Crypt Keeper. I appreciate that. We're not allowed to smoke at the fire department, but we inhale a lot of smoke at fires, unfortunately, but it's all good.
Exactly. All right, boys, we've been on for almost an hour. I appreciate you guys. This has been awesome. Jesse, as always, you killed it. I appreciate it. We didn't get to the schedule. We got the schedule tonight. I got to find out where the Bengals are going.
If we play Baltimore in prime time this year, I'm going to lose my freaking crap.
I know. I'm going to be pissed. I'm tired of that.
Thanksgiving is what I'm hearing.
We're playing Thanksgiving?
That's what I mean. Again, yeah, that's the rumor.
In Baltimore?
I don't.
Fuck.
Rumor.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I don't know
rumor.
what you get. I'm for playing Thanksgiving. I think that'd be fun. I'm tired of going to Baltimore playing primetime stuff.
The other thing you mentioned was you thought they were playing the Bills week 1.
Yeah,
I've heard it's at Cleveland week 1.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
I've heard Bills. I believe is week 14. I think
it is.
Again, I have no inside knowledge of the schedule. This is I'm going by what everybody else is seeing.
You got more close to rumors than we do. We just hear whatever's on the internet. You can actually talk to somebody. That's what I'm hearing.
We're playing in Miami week 16 prime time too. So another road prime time game. God, man, I tell you what, the NFL.
We guys have some home primetime games. How many primetime games do you guys think we'll have? I think I said 3 yesterday. You think we have 5?
Yeah, I do.
What do you
think? Bengals are a sexy team, man. Joe Burrow and Chase, we are a sexy team. We really are.
Well, if they could also take them away from us like they did last year if we don't have a good season.
We were the most exciting team last year to watch. I mean, I know we didn't win those games, but those games were bonkers.
Exactly.
I'm hopeful for 5. It's the NFL. The NFL is not fans of the Bengals. They don't like small markets. They
don't like Mike Brown.
They're not shy about it. So, but you're right. I mean, the people want Joe Burrow. The people want Jamar Chase. They want T. Higgins.
And the NFL's
they should want Trey Hendrickson. Like let's
NFL's got to realize people are leaving big cities. People are leaving Chicago. They're leaving California. They're moving to cities like Cincinnati and Tennessee. So we're getting bigger.
People might be leaving, but the money's not. The money's staying in these big cities. That's the reality of it.
I'm 3 hours from Miami. We play there. Come on down. We'll go down to that game. We'll get a win. Listen, you cannot leave Great American Ballpark tonight if the Reds lose. We got to get them back on track.
Oh my God!
Give me a Reds victory tonight.
I hope so. But this team is so freaking frustrating. Like, Mon, if they could just average 4 runs a game, they'd win every damn game almost. They got such good pitching, and just watching them try to hit the ball, try to score is. I just, and it's been like this for 12, 13 years. We can't freaking hit the ball.
They got 4 years to get it right. Because that's when we're going to start losing Cruz and McLean and all those guys. They got 4 years to get it right.
They got these minor leaguers down in AA. Trade them. Go get somebody who can hit the ball. Like by the time these guys from AA come up and be good, Ellie, Matt, McLean, all these guys will almost be gone. It's like,
can Trey play baseball?
Yeah. he plays softball. I see him on
he's a good athlete, man. He's from Apopka, Florida, which is an hour from my house. So.
Yeah, he mentioned he's a Floridian. So,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Shark attacks, man. That's I love. I was all for that reference. Provoked and unprovoked.
Awesome.
You provoked the shark attack, man.
I think that was the best part I loved about that whole press conference and the shark attack comment. That was awesome. That was very well thought out, and I like that one a lot.
Oh yeah. What the Reds have? What is it? 6 top 100 prospects? Or am I making that up? Did I read that somewhere?
They got a hell of a farm club. They got a hell of a farm club.
Yeah. I'm like, that's why I'm like, Trey told him to get somebody up here who can hit. Because I mean, our outfield sucks. Like, if we can get some outfielders who can, I don't know, hit 300, hit about 30 bombs, that would be great. In the middle of the lineup,
I broke into this business. I was a Major League Baseball agent, so I do love some baseball. So.
Yeah, I love me some Pete Rose. I'll go for Pete Rose night. All right, actually, guys, just real quick too before I let you guys go. Pete Rose getting finally off the ineligible list. I said this 6 years ago or 7 years ago. I think he's gonna have to die. Unfortunately, for them to let him get get eligible. I think it's a travesty. I think it sucks. I'm a huge Pete Rose fan. I think he should have been in the Hall of Fame for what he did on the baseball field, not as a manager, not betting on baseball or any of that stuff. Hell, at this point, I think Bonds, McGuire, Clemens, those guys should be in the Hall of Fame because everybody was doing steroids. Everybody was.
It's called the steroids era. It's called the steroids era. It is. It's part of the rule book. Put an asterisk there, but that was the era of baseball then.
And you knew they were doing it. I don't give a crap what Bud Selig said. Yeah, Brady Anderson hit 50 home runs in one season. He was a damn leadoff hitter, and then he never hit that many again. What do you think he was doing?
Yeah. I think, listen, Mike Greenberg said it perfectly. They suspended him. MLB, gave him the lifetime ban, but the Hall of Fame should be totally separate. It should be a separate thing. He should have been in years earlier. I get this. Okay, you can't be at functions at MLB. You can't do it. The Hall of Fame is separate. He's not going in as a manager. He's going in as a player. Mm-hmm. Like baseball Hall of Fame, it's just purist. They're like snobby compared to other Hall of Fames. I mean, there was one year they didn't even elect anybody because he didn't meet the vote threshold. Are you kidding me?
Right.
I mean,
the simple fact that King Griffey Jr. was not a unanimous ballot Hall of Famer already shows that it's a subjective bias with the Hall of Fame. It's a broken system, right? Yes, because that New York voter wanted what? The only unanimous pick to be with the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Thank you. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. It's ridiculous.
It bugs me. It will always bug me until that system is fixed. It's not, and
it's baseball. They ain't fixing shit.
They're not. And again, look,
I appreciate the blood pressure spike. Thank you, guys.
the voting systems, not just with the Hall of Fame, but it's relevant in the NFL with these awards, right? Small market clubs aren't going to get the recognition. The players aren't going to get the recognition they deserve. But in baseball, the Hall of Fame is absolutely a joke for multiple reasons. No, all right. The Hall of Fame voting. The Hall of Fame isn't a joke. The Hall of Fame is incredible.
You're right. It's like this.
It's awesome.
It's elitist, purist kind of thing. I can't stand it. Somebody should get elected into the Hall of Fame every year. For them to go one full year because they didn't meet a vote threshold, you got to be kidding me, man.
Ridiculous.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Especially when and again, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't even know if this is accurate, but I want to look into it. The year that nobody got voted in, the next year was somebody that was on that ballot that they get in. Yeah. Right. So again, what changed? What changed in 1 year?
One more vote.
Right.
Maybe. That's it.
Somebody went, oh, you know what? I didn't see his walks per strikeout ratio. Oh, silly me.
Those guys
did that. Right. Like
after the vote, they go to some bar in Manhattan and high five each other. Nobody got in. Hey, all right. They're proud of themselves.
They do. They all talk. I mean, that's one thing I learned from Richard Katz, who'd been in this business. Not, he represented NBA players, NFL players, coaches, athletic director. He represented everybody. I mean, this man was sports law, and that's what he's like. He knows all these sports writers, all of these voters, and that's one thing he told me was, I don't know if I can say it on here, but they're all full of shit.
Oh, you can say it. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
It's It's ridiculous.
One more time.
Yeah,
They're all full of shit.
Right. I'll say it. Shit. Okay.
There we go.
God, I feel better now. All right, boys. I appreciate both of you. Jesse, tell everybody where they can follow you, stuff you got going on Sirius, and anything else you want to plug before I let you go.
Yeah, awesome. So follow me on Twitter, X at Agent Jesse James, on Instagram, Agent Jesse James 1. Listen to my show every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Opening Drive Sirius XM channel 88, the NFL channel. I am going to give one plug.
Good.
If you are a fan of the draft, if you are a fan of sports in the NFL, Value Picks by Neil Stratton, this book is incredible. It breaks down multiple NFL players and what they went through when signing contracts, when they went through the draft. We're talking about Goff versus Wentz for that number 1 overall pick. It's got Laramie Tunsil's situation with the mask, the infamous mask. Derrick Henry when he signed a deal with the Ravens. Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill, and then a lot of draft stories from executives and scouts. Neil Stratton, you can get this book on Amazon. He is incredible. This book is awesome. So thank you for letting me plug that.
No problem, Jesse. I hope to see you Sunday. You coming to the golf outing? We're going to hang out and drink some beer, play some golf.
That's the plan. I'm going to try to be there. And
bring your clubs. We might have a spot. Bring your clubs. I'm bringing mine. We'll see what happens. I'll just talk about all this in front of Mon because Mon can't come.
Yeah,
I'll be he's July though.
You're probably not in all of this rain that won't stop.
Yeah, I know. It's rain from.
You probably got some nice sunshine, and if it does rain, it's only for 10 minutes.
We went about 2 months with no rain, and being a fireman, that's bad. But it's starting to rain now, which is good. My yard is looking good, so I'm very happy with that.
Dude, it's rained here every day since freaking February. I'm tired of it. Yeah. All right, Jesse, appreciate you, brother. See you Sunday.
Take care.
All right, Mon, plug some shit before I let you go, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. At the Fireman on Twitter and Bengals Pulse, at the Bengals Pulse on Twitter. We got a show every Tuesday and Thursday. We're doing a show tonight with Ace and Zim. We're going to talk about the schedule and Trey Hendrickson. Go figure. So it's coming on about 8:30. We try to do at least one show a week during the offseason. We've been doing 2 a lot because there's so much Bengal news. But give us a shout. Give us a follow, Cincinnati Podcast Network. And I appreciate this, man. I love being on your show.
Hey, I'm glad you came on, and we made it. Jesse had the glitch. You didn't. The computer did. Thank you, Jesus.
Best Buy hooked me up. Best Buy.
We're talking about. All right, Mon. Appreciate you, brother. See you. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that much. I did. Go follow Mon and the Bengals Pulse, and of course, Ace and Zim and Jesse. The outlaw Jesse James and everything that he does. Like I said, if you want to know anything with contracts and stuff like that, Jesse has got it. That's why I love having him on here, because he could talk and he makes a lot of sense, and he knows what the hell he's talking about, because I have no idea what I'm talking about when these contracts go on. But thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I'll be pulling this out later on today, trying to put it on the podcast. I tried to put it up last night. It would not go on. I don't know what's going on with Spotify, but it's not letting me post stuff onto the podcast. But hopefully it will tonight. If it does, it's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I got 99 people watching this right now. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you're watching on anything other than YouTube, go to the YouTube channel, Sports Strawberry Ice. Please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Shout out to my sponsors. They are as follows. We got Priority Lawn and Landscaping. It is actually sunny out there. You got grass that you don't want to cut. You have multiple properties you don't want to cut. You need flower beds cleaned out, plants planted, landscaping, retaining walls put up. I don't know. The hell, they can put a fire pit in there somewhere if they want. Do me a favor. Think Priority Lawn and Landscape for all your lawn and landscaping needs. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. And when you give Johnny a call, or you follow a message on Facebook, do me a favor, tell him you heard about it from Sports with Strawberry Ice. Also, the show is brought to you by T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, of course, Meyer Door Windows and more. Check them out at MeyerCincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. They're energy efficient, easy cleaning, great looking windows. It's a great family-run business. Matty Myers, Nate Myers, and the rest of the Meyer crew. Again, check them out. MyerCincinnati.com. They give free estimates, and you can see the Jackpot Joey. I'm going to be able to talk to Matty Myers. This Sunday, we are going to have the Jackpot Joey golf outing. I cannot wait. McKinley Jackson's going to be there. Pat Jones is going to be there. Dre Kirkpatrick's going to be there. My boy Tyson Anderson's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I might be able to play golf. See, you might want to come just try to watch me play golf because it might be a shit show in itself. So, again, thanks for watching, you guys. Remember, go Reds. Hopefully they win tonight. Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. But as always, Who Dey for life. Throw it up. That's your sports, baby. See ya!
Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.